Welcome to The Abundance Effect, where we empower ambitious women with practical tools to live their most rich and fulfilling life in business and beyond. I'm your host, Larissa McCoof. Let's get started. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? It's the idea that something so small as the flap of a butterfly's wings in one part of the world can actually set off a chain of events that changes the weather somewhere else entirely. I love this metaphor because it is the perfect way to describe abundance. Every choice, every belief, every act of courage or generosity that you make creates a ripple effect. And you may not see it immediately, but it shapes your future and often the lives of people you will never even meet. This is what the abundance effect is really about. It's not just a podcast title, it is a way of living. It is a philosophy, it's a calling to expand what's possible for you and for everyone that your life touches. So today we're going to redefine abundance. We're going to look at how scarcity sneaks in and steals your joy. And I'm going to share 3 powerful and simple reflective questions that you can use to help you spot those habits and start living from possibility instead of protection. So let's take a look at scarcity versus abundance. Now, a few years ago, I created something called the Personal Elevation Playbook, Timeless Truths for Fulfillment, Purpose, and Legacy. And I wrote this during a season where I was deeply frustrated. I saw way too many people living life on the surface, checking off boxes, chasing goals, having these meaningless conversations about weather, and I couldn't stand it. They were wondering why they still felt empty and things weren't working well. I could see it from a mile away, and I just wanted to help them go deeper. So I wanted them to help reconnect with who they really were, what they value, and what truly fulfills them. Therefore, I wrote about it, and the playbook came to be. And that's essentially where this idea of abundance mindset begins. Because abundance is about plenty. It's about living from the belief that there is always enough. In fact, it's about living from the belief that there's more than enough to go around. There is more than enough time. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough love. There's more than enough opportunity. There's more than enough creativity. More than enough healing. More than enough connection. Wallace D. Wattles said, abundance is your birthright. It's not something you apply for. It is something you inherit simply by being alive. Let me say it again. Abundance is your birthright. You're probably going to hear it on this podcast 1,000 times, but it's important. When you have an abundance mindset, you adopt a set of attitudes. These attitudes, they attract and allow more of the good things to flow into your life. You see opportunities where others see obstacles. You trust that resources are infinite and renewable. You practice gratitude no matter what's happening externally. And you engage in possibility thinking because when spirit calls or knocks, there's always a way. If this episode has you thinking about the small choices you're making every single day, especially how you start your mornings, I want to personally invite you to something. The Morning Magic Challenge is happening right now. We've already started, but replays are available and you can absolutely still join us. It is a live 5-day experience where we practice starting the day in a grounded, intentional, and focused way so that all those small daily choices actually work in your favor. This is where insight turns into rhythm. You can jump in at morningmagicchallenge.com. The link is also in the show notes because you do not need to change everything. Just one small thing done consistently can change everything. What does abundance really look like? Most people think of abundance as wealth. Real abundance extends far beyond money. Yes, money is important. I'm not dismissing that. But right now, I want to talk about abundance in a greater sense, in a multidimensional sense, because abundance is about health, the energy and vitality to live fully. Abundance is about freedom, time, choice, and creative expression. Abundance is about relationships, love, connection, community, belonging. Abundance is about impact and this contribution that you can make through your work, through your purpose, and your presence. Essentially, abundance is about alignment. It's the congruence between what you value, what you believe, and how you live. It's not about having it all. It's really about being all of who you were meant to be. Now, I wasn't born into this way of thinking. Far from it, far from it. In fact, I spent years operating from scarcity, constantly comparing, constantly overworking, constantly waiting for the right time to feel secure or successful, constantly putting my dreams on hold, constantly just doing things that did not fulfill me. And I thought that this sense of control equaled safety. And I would measure my worth by productivity and perfection. It's like, how many things did I highlight on my list? How much did I get done? People would say, Larissa, you get so much more done than everyone else here. You get more done on Monday than most people get done in a week. And I was like, yay, this is great. It wasn't. Because living like that is exhausting and it never feels like enough. No matter how much you do, no matter how many projects you complete, it's a never ending cycle. And my real shift came when I started to notice the ripple effect of my thoughts, the ripple effect of my choices, the ripple effect of my energy, and started to connect the dots. This might seem like so obvious to me right now, and it might seem obvious to you if you've heard of it or if you think like this, but it wasn't obvious to me before. The more I focused on lack, the more lack showed up. Imagine that. The more I focused on problems, the more problems showed up. On the flip side, the more I leaned into things like gratitude, generosity, complimenting and applauding people, learning about and dancing with my vision, dancing with my dreams, the more opportunities magically just appeared. Sometimes, often from the most unexpected places. Now, that's the abundance effect in motion. Just like that butterfly spreading its wings, every small shift in how you think and how you act and how you show up has the power to transform your entire life. And here's the truth. You cannot spread your wings if you're holding onto the cocoon of scarcity. And so I want to give you 3 questions that you can use to spot scarcity habits so you can do something about them. And I want to make it really personal. So if you're listening to this recording and you can grab a notebook, I want you to hit the pause button and run and go grab your notebook. If not, make sure you come back to this. Make sure you come back to this because this stuff is not going to work if you don't do anything about it. Great to listen, but if you don't actually do the work, it's not going to work for you. So pause, grab a notebook if you can. And if not, okay, come back to this episode. Where in your life are you holding back out of fear or not enough? Okay, question 1. Where in your life are you holding back out of fear or not enough? Maybe it's money, maybe it's time, maybe it's love, maybe it's confidence, but be really, really honest. And you can hit the pause button and answer the question before you go on. That's what I'd recommend. Question 2. Where are you saying yes when you really mean no or want to mean no? Are you people pleasing? That's scarcity in disguise. Are you fearing that you'll lose the approval of people or opportunities? It happens a lot in that arena. Where are you saying yes when you really mean no? 3rd question. What would you do differently if you truly believed there was more than enough for everyone, including you? Okay, what would you do differently if you truly believed there was more than enough for everyone, including you? And this question can shift your energy in an instant. So hit that pause button and finish it up if you can. For those of you that need to come back to this, we'll also make sure to include those questions in the show notes of this episode. So we'll make sure to do that for you. But make sure to do them. I want you to make the commitment to yourself because insight without action is worthless. And you deserve more than that. Okay? You don't just want to spend your time listening. You want to do something about this. Now, if you think about the anatomy of a butterfly, before a butterfly can fly, it goes through a complete transformation. It dissolves, it reforms, and it reemerges with wings. And that's exactly what this journey from scarcity to abundance looks like. It is messy, it requires faith, and it asks you to let go of who you were back then so you can become who you're meant to be in the future. And once you do, it's not just your life that changes. It is the ripple of this transformation that you're creating this transformation. Essentially, it touches your family, your clients, your community, even people you've never met. And that's what the abundance effect really is. And so here's where I stand. The abundance effect is about expanding possibility in your health, your wealth, your relationships, your contribution, your belief in what's possible for you, for your friends, for your family, for humanity. It is a movement to stop living life on the surface and start creating from depth, from truth, and from alignment. And it is your invitation to literally and metaphorically spread your wings, because the world does not need more people chasing security. It needs more people living in overflow. It needs more people radiating what's possible, especially when they decide to rise. So your challenge is to decide to rise, to reflect on those questions and notice where scarcity might be running the show, and start taking one small intentional step towards abundance at a time. And if you take one step, another step, another step, another step, another step, you're going to all of a sudden start building momentum so you can fuel yourself forward. If you want to go deeper, message me playbook on any of my or my team's social media platforms, and we're going to give you access to the personal elevation playbook absolutely free. Inside, you're going to find timeless truths, guided reflections, and powerful prompts to help you clarify your purpose, elevate your mindset, and build a life and legacy that actually feel good, that actually feel aligned, that feel in tune with you. And it is the exact resource I created to help people stop living life on the surface and start living with meaning. So again, send me the word playbook, and I'm going to make sure to get that to you right away. The links to our platforms, to our social media platforms, will be in the show notes. It's absolutely free, and it just might be the spark that helps you spread your wings and live your version of the abundance effect. So I'm Larissa McCoo. Thanks for listening. And remember, your wings are waiting.